Hey, what's up guys, Hunter here, bringing you another video, and this video is, like always, different. As I'm starting off this new series, you're gonna learn a lot about me and my interests. One of them is technology, of course. Now, this ties into kinda recent events of what Nvidia has done with the 970. Now, Nvidia has no doubt been the go-to card for most PC gamers and major retailers, beating both Intel and AMD graphics processing in the processor race for as long as we can remember now. I mean, come on, there hasn't been a time where Nvidia has not been on top. For God's sakes, they can be a monopoly if it wasn't illegal in America. Wait, are they even American based? No, I think they're fucking Korean. I don't know. Now, due to recent events, Nvidia has taken more corporate actions rather than loving the community that has built up both the PC race and Nvidia itself. And we all know the PC race of gamers are the go-to people for community. I mean, come on, they're not Xbox. I'm sorry, I had a little I think I'm getting a little sick of, you know, the Xbox community, you know. I mean, come on, Microsoft, there has to be a stopping point where you have to put your foot down and kick all the 12-year-old kids from playing Call of Duty. It's just annoying. But anyways, first, let's start by breaking down what the PC race is as a community. People part of this community, of all parts, in fact, are all overall pretty nice. Like, not even just the people who treat other people like human beings most of the time. Granted, GTA can get pretty fucking hectic, and the companies that produce the hardware for this PC master race have been pretty decent with their pricings overall and not screwing people out of wasting their money on the next best thing that's not actually very good. Not pointing any fingers here, Apple, as most Nvidia users probably know by now. Nvidia made a pretty, well, shitty move on their old line of graphics cards, you know, the 900 series. That was the GTX 970 was said to have 4 gigabytes of video RAM. For those who don't know these terms very well, you know, VRAM is just basically video RAM, and that is the amount of memory available for the processor to process the graphics. It's nothing too much. It's just really important when it comes to playing huge awesome games like Battlefield 1, for example. Not sponsored, please hit me up. Or like GTA 5. I mean, for God's sakes, they have a VRAM meter in the game. And now 4 gigabytes doesn't sound like a whole lot. Like, we have 10 terabyte hard drives and 4 gigabytes of RAM, but nowadays 4 gigabytes is pretty good for a graphics card, you know? And especially for a $350 graphics card, which will probably be $200 pretty soon. But Nvidia decided to cut corners near the end of the production of the 970, rendering it simply unusable. What they did was they lied about how much VRAM it actually had. See, they said it had 4 gigabytes of VRAM, when in reality it has 3.5, and the extra 0.5 gigabyte or 512 megabytes is slower than the rest of the memory, rendering it completely unusable. Now, people who know probably way more about computers than I do will probably say stuff like, well, it doesn't matter anyway, the graphics card can't handle that kind of stuff, it's only 512 megabytes. You know what? I actually draw the line right there, because I do know what I'm talking about here. Because in reality, if you're playing a massive game, let's say like GTA 5 or the next AAA title like Battlefield 1, and especially virtual reality becoming reality, it's really gonna do you good to have that extra 512 megabytes. But this is not the whole story here. The way computers work is it takes the lowest amount of clock speed, and then if you have more of that same type of technology, it will then lower the clock speeds of everything else. For example, a lot of you watching this probably know what RAM is. RAM works off of clock speeds. So if you have a clock speed of, let's say, 1.2 gigahertz, and then you have another RAM stick in the same computer with, let's say, 800 megahertz, your computer will clock both sticks to 800 megahertz instead of the 1.2, because it's easier to calculate everything, and computers obviously aren't that smart. So in reality, if you use up that slower 512 megabytes of RAM, it will not just only render that part of the RAM unusable, but dim your performance down completely in general with the rest of the graphics card. Now it won't be like you'll jump from 120 frames to like 40. It won't be that significant, but let's say you're around 60 FPS, you're just peaking at it, and you go down like 10 frames, or you're rendering new things and you drop frames and go back up and have lag spikes. That's the shit that pisses people off. What does this mean for the future of Nvidia? It may mean they've learned their lesson, because Nvidia had to pay out $30 to whatever customer that signed this thing online proving that they had a 970. They got a $30 refund, which is stupid, by the way, because that 512 megabytes is definitely worth more than $30. Hopefully they've learned their lesson, alright? Maybe they've learned their lesson of not shitting on their customers that supported them since fucking 2002. Maybe they've learned it, but maybe they haven't. Maybe they're the type of corporation again, sorry, very sick apple. Maybe they're the type of company, all right? Maybe they're a company that don't learn from the mistakes. Maybe they're a corporation that care more about money, and they've already done this with the 1070 now. I personally would not know how to go about testing that, but if I were you, keep an eye out for the new 10,000 series, and if you're a tester that can test this stuff, please do that. I don't know how to do it. I'm not that smart in fucking hardware. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching. Now, I've poked so much fun at other companies and other corporations. Do not hate me for that. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, this is not a one-sided conversation. If you have your own opinion, please put it down in the comments section below. I'll be sure to personally go down and reply to each and every one. If you like this type of content, please do hit that like button. That tells me you do want more. And if you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button. Basically, these are the one of the only types of contents I'm starting to post now, so kind of get used to it. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, but I'm gonna sit back, grab my controller, pop up some Battlefield 1 beta, and just play it.